Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 6:35 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Monday, the 17th of May. Good morning to all of you great people. We hope that you had a wonderful weekend. In fact, we hope that your face was among the faces that came out to our great one-year anniversary party at McCarty Mills. We had a really good time. As you know, last week on Tuesday, that was our one-year anniversary, but we celebrated on Friday at McCarty Mills, and it was a really, really good time. Thank you to everyone who came out. It was very special, and it really meant a lot to us. So you know that we go live on Facebook coming up this morning at 8 o'clock a.m., so get ready to tune in for another great episode of Good Morning Aurora, and we also have an interview for you guys today as well that we're sure that you will enjoy. All right, so let's get into some local headlines and talk about what's happening. Get ready because McCarty Mills is having their one-year anniversary as well. It'll be the 20th this month through the 23rd. Special tappings. They're launching a membership program, music, food, and a whole lot more. So make sure that you come on out and support McCarty Mills, 140 South River Street in downtown Aurora. Okay. Today is also the day that the ILRPP, Illinois Rent Protection Program, opens up. That application portal is now live. There are some requirements and stipulations. This is for landlords to receive payment, but also the application has to be done in conjunction with tenants. So if you need help, you can contact the Neighbor Project, and they will be sure to help and connect you and steer you into the right direction. Okie dokie. So in addition to that, got some other stuff that I want to tell you guys about. And I'm going to make this quick because we're going to do the news. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. But our friends of Chapel Street Church in Geneva, Thursday, June 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m., they're having a community resource fair. Free dinner, free haircuts, free cleaning supplies. Amongst the organizations that'll be there will be Batavia's United Way, Preschool Help, that 211. Area food pantries, Northern Illinois Food Bank, Fox Valley Food for Health, Two Rivers Head Start, and Mutual Ground. Also, there will be health screenings, job search assistance, and a whole lot more. So please give a shout out and come out and support Chapel Street Church and their community resource fair. I think that's it for the news. I'm going to hold this news and I'm going to deliver it to the rest of our awesome listenership here on Facebook. Thank you for everyone supporting the show. We are a year old and we hope that this Monday brings you a very positive and successful week. And that is the news. How was your weekend?
Busy.
What'd you do?
Getting just working this 5K, working this event, connecting with community. My husband and I bought a house.
Okay.
Gosh, it will be in there 8 years. It's a historical home right there off of Lincoln Ave, and so every year you have to do the spring cleaning. We gotta doll it up over the
Right.
beginning of the summer. So that was the project. It was getting it cleaned up, and our lot is like 11,725 square lot. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so, we're able to. It looks pretty now.
Isn't it a good thing being a homeowner, right?
Oh my gosh, it's a blessing.
Congratulations to you.
Praise the Lord, I'm telling you.
And I think, which we will come to in the interview, I think when we're talking about, because you did a house party
Correct.
with TMP. Okay, right. And that was in like a year ago?
Yes.
Last year?
With the Neighbor Project, yeah.
Okay. So today we have yourself, Uni Torres Camacho. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Aurora, but my mom and dad had purchased a home in Oswego, so I was raised in Oswego.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, where there was only one Puerto Rican family, the Torres family. The Garcias, and gosh, I can't remember, and the Blakes. And so it was tough. Back in, it wasn't diversified as it was today. So I feel like we were part of the pioneers, kind of broke ground
Right.
for the future generation of that community.
What does that mean to you to be part of that that first group of a diverse community and looking into what it is today?
Well, it's interesting. It's challenging because who wants to be a trendsetter? Who wants to fight for the rights of to be known, to be accepted, to be respected?
Right.
Our family, the Torres family, has a lot of honor. We came from humbling beginnings, and so to be in a position where my parents were able to purchase this brand new home in Oswego, in the Oswego Township, it was an honor. But we didn't know that it was going to come with, scrapes, fights, and representing to be there.
What was Aurora like growing up when you were young, and then the transition into Oswego? What do you remember? Nice, beautiful stuff.
Repeat the question.
What was it like? What was Aurora like? When you were young, born, and being a kid, and then what was Oswego like? Because we only know Oswego now.
Yeah.
And Aurora now.
Oh, it wasn't like that. It was not like that.
Well, talk about it. What was it like?
Well, let me tell you that. It was full of gangs back in the 80s, and that time it was just a lot of violence in our community. And my parents had originally purchased a house in Aurora, but they didn't want us to be a part of that. So they ended up purchasing a home out there in Oswego, so that to get us away from that.
Isn't it nice to look back on those as the past gone days?
Yeah. What was interesting though, it's like when you're in a community with Hispanics, and love, admiration, respect, and honor, and then go into a community where you're now you're not the majority. You're only just a handful of people. We didn't know what the experience that we were going to have. It was going to make such a big impact. My father used to say, I remember, and so we were ridiculed. We were, as children, we fought. I mean, I remember when I went to our 5-year reunion, high school reunion. It was interesting to connect back with everybody, but and I remember just the conversations among my peers in regards to just all the stuff that we had gone through, and how we had to fight for respect. And it was interesting because they said, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I was a kid. Oh, I'm sorry." So it was all this love, love, love. But when you're at that age and such a young mind doesn't know. All we know is that we have to honor and respect ourselves. And one of the things, and so we had been in a lot of fights. I mean, we went through a lot of turmoil, my siblings and I, just to be accepted. And so in that reunion, everybody was like, you don't want to mess with the Torres kids, because we end up becoming bullies. We end up fighting for the rights to be there. And so I'm really glad that things have changed, and now it's diversified.
Growing up, what impact did your dad have in your life?
My father's from Puerto Rico, and my grandparents, and Jesse, well, I don't even know if Jesse was born. Yeah, he was born then. But they had sent my father here at a young age to get established. I think he was 15 when they sent him off over here to get a job, get established, get an apartment. And my father worked really hard and paid my whole family, my grandparents and my uncles to come, and he flew them here to get established. So my father did that, and he did that at a very young age. So that just shows you the pride, the integrity of having a mindset and sticking with it and following through with it.
Now, your dad is Mr. Torres of this?
Jesse Torres is my uncle.
That's your uncle, okay.
He's the youngest of the clan.
All right, it's a little bit of a preview, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
All right. I do want to. I am interested though because I do have friends who are Puerto Rican, a bunch of friends in the Latino community. I would like to know: are there differences in the experience of the Puerto Ricans, of the Puerto Rican community, and the Mexican community, and if or the other Latino, El Salvadoran, Honduras, whatever? Are there differences in the experience here? And if so, can you tell us about that?
I think I think everybody has a story.
Okay.
I think everybody has their experience.
Okay.
Being Hispanic, being not Caucasian, everybody goes through something.
Right.
So I believe that everybody has gone through something, and has gone through the fight for the integrity and the honor to be heard and to be and just to be respected. And so I respect all. Just me being Puerto, and actually I'm Puerto Rican Mexican. Yo soy mitad mitad. My mother was Mexican. My father was Puerto Rican.
Mitad
Mitad, I call it.
okay.
Mitad mitad.
I'm trying to learn on this show too.
So it was. So I think that anybody who is not Caucasian, honestly, has a story.
Right.
And had to go through some hoops and chains and hurdles to get to the point. And I think to where they want to go. And I also think that is because who we were brought up with, our parents, our grandparents, and the pride. So, hey, and one of the biggest things my father used to say, "De quién tú eres?" As a little girl, "De quién tú eres?" And I would be, and we would be like, "Puerto Rico," like, "Who are you?"
Okay.
That's what it means in English. Who are you? And he embedded that in us, embedded that when we were young, because he saw that what we were going through, and he's like, you stand strong. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that in all families, in all races, there's a sense of pride and upholding something that was instilled in them. I believe that.
So you went to Oswego High School.
Yes.
All right. Graduate what year?
Well, I didn't graduate. I ended up quitting.
Okay.
And I ended up getting my GED.
Okay. Now I want to. What year was that?
That I got my GED, or I quit high school.
What GED year?
I was a rebellious child, so I ended up out of all the children, I ended up leaving home very young. Gosh, it was in the 80s.
How young is very young?
Gosh, 15. And I left, and I went on my own. I ended up leaving with my boyfriend, who I ended up being my husband, and then became a widow with him. So, yeah, I mean, the choices that we make, right?
Well, I left home at an early age too, so
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I just got tired of the fight. And you know, when you're an adolescent, you think you know it all, and you think I could do better. And because of the pride that was implemented, it was interesting because of the pride that was instilled and the integrity, I felt I could do it. I could do it all.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And I vowed that I would never, you know how kids go back home. I had vowed to never go back, and I actually never did. And I was able to be successful.
I made that same, I told myself that same thing. I did go back home one time, but it was only just to get up, you know, the money for a new crib. I'd moved to California back. So yeah, I get, I totally feel you.
So yeah, felt I could do it on my own.
So Jesse the Law Torres' boxing club.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that. Jesse Torres is your uncle. Mm-hmm. What kind of man is he?
You know, he's a humble guy, very humble. He loves his community, that I do know, and takes a lot of pride in the work that he's done. And he's, he's a well-rounded guy. He is, and he loves his community. He sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed his family, his time, you know, 27 years is a long time to devote to community. And a lot of times when you do that, you know, we're human. We can't do it all, right?
Right.
So some things has to give. And so him being a police officer, he was APD. He, you know, he sacrificed a lot for the work that he did, the foundation he started.
How did the boxing club start? What's its origins?
Gosh, I think it was the 1980s. Gosh, I don't have my date correct. I apologize. Maybe 1984, 85. He was a police officer. We're in the location where he started his the boxing club. It was infested with gangs and violence, and so he.
What area is this?
This is North Union.
Okay.
North Union, and it was infested. And the Park District had this building that was, I think, vacant, and they were gracious enough to let Jesse to come in and start a program. The concept was keeping the punches where they belong. He just wanted the people. He just wanted to have an avenue for people to come get off the streets.
Right. Now, what were its hours of operation? Was this an after-school
It was
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
And it's been the same Monday through Friday. Forgive me, Monday through Thursday, 5 to 8. This is the hours of operation.
When it started, was there an idea it would last this long?
I think because for many of those years he was a one-man team, and so I think over the years, and those who jumped on board, I think if he would have done it by himself, because it takes a team to work with the village, right? And so many of us had jumped on board years ago, saw the vision, saw the mission, and joined the team.
How many people are on the team for the club?
Well, as far as we have a board.
Okay.
We are a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. We have a board that's been established for many years. We've got probably about, maybe seven on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, and so is that where you learned how to box? At the club?
Yeah, that's exactly. Everybody learned how to box at Jesse's club.
Now, I had heard, going back, I had heard that, I'd heard about the club. I had never been there, anything like that. I had heard that there was a former police officer named Jesse Torres, and he opened a boxing club.
Yeah.
That was years ago. That was like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
To hear it and to see this Memorial Day 5K, which we're going to talk about as well, to see it still around makes me happy, because I don't feel like there's been too many new things coming up with youth. Right? I haven't seen too many new opportunities. Is that a fair statement? It seems like there's only been Jessica La Torres' boxing club in Aurora for a long time.
Well, you know, over the years, with so many I saw, and that's why one of the things why I wanted to purchase a house in here in Aurora, because the mission is in Aurora, right?
Right.
And so I've seen over the years where all these different collaborations, there's great organizations out there that have done, are making an effort to touch the community.
Right.
In so many different levels. I think with us, with our club, what makes us so unique is that we normally work with, not only with adults and elderly and Parkinson's, and but we work with kids who really need an outlet. We work with like specifically with our, we have an after-school program called Aurora City Life, because over the years we've evolved. We used
Aurora City Alive?
Aurora City Life is an after-school program specifically working with high-risk kids. Now let me tell you something, Curtis. This I've seen more revolving doors of volunteers working with these kids who I don't, working with high-risk kids, it's a challenge. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of patience, It takes a lot of prayer, and not everybody can do it. And that's something that I've been honored, me coming on board in '07 and helping Jesse working with the team to get established, to creating certain programs because I mean, we would get conversations and calls with the alternatives. Go, hey man, we've got all these kids. It's like a 3-tier system.
Right.
Can you guys create something with these hardcore kids because, we're ready. They're not doing anything. Kind of waiting
Right.
for the time. 18, I'm out.
Right.
So we structured Aurora City Live, working those with the specific kids, and it's challenging. One, because we can't get enough volunteers to help with, because it's a lot of work.
What do the volunteers need? What's the job description? What do volunteers need to do?
Oh, you gotta have a backbone. Let's just start. You gotta have Jesus in your heart because you're gonna need His.
How much will it cost? Guts.
I mean, that's all I gotta say.
Right.
Because it can be challenging, and I mean that's the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's and so programs like that we've created over the years that I'm so proud of. The programs, we have another program called, it's a Rocksteady. It's a Rocksteady program that works specifically with Parkinson's. We found out years ago that not only boxing fights the manifestation, it slows down the progression.
Right.
It gives them a newness of life. So we were able to, I was like, oh man, well, let's figure this out. We went to Indianapolis, got educated, adopted the program, we brought it in, and we've been able to see such transformations in people who have Parkinson's. It's a powerful thing. And so, I mean, I'm really proud of these programs. I really am.
Now, Brenda Pasco,
Yeah.
who our conversation started with.
Yeah.
Who is she and what does she do?
Brenda, which you're supposed to be here with me.
I love it. Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? She's a darling. She is our marketing director for. She's part of the board.
All right, good.
And she is the one. She's the one that connects us to you.
Yeah.
So that's what she is. She's our marketing director. She does a great job.
And here's the thing too. When I saw, because she sent an email, I think it started with, I think she sent a message to Instagram and then followed with email information. Yeah, I was happy to do it. Anything that's positive and is helping young people to stay out of trouble, we're happy to shout it out. So that is actually good to know. Shout out, Brenda. All right.
You're supposed to be here.
Right. Now, let's see here. Memorial Day 5K United We Strive. That's been in our news roll for a while now. I've been saying that on the morning news for a minute now. No doubt, yep. 29th at Waubonsee Park, 8 a.m. All proceeds benefit the 501c3 nonprofit organization, Jesse the Law Boxing Club.
Correct.
All right.
So, this 5K is really, really important to us. We're about 2 weeks in to May 29th. I am about, our goal was to get 100 participants.
Okay.
And our goal was $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we're halfway with our participants and we're halfway with our funding. So I would love to take this opportunity to, man, if I can get, Jesse was APD, I need help. Like, I need volunteers. I would love to get the APD involved. I would love to get these people who love Jesse. And, I'm the talk in the face. I'm up front. And let me tell you something. I would rather have Jesse be here. But we need the community help. We haven't seen anybody in such a long time. We've been closed for such a long time.
Right.
And so this is an opportunity so that we can not only connect and say hello and have fun and be safe. Obviously, CDC, we're following CDC guidelines, and obviously things are lifting by the day. Thank God, praise God. But we would love to see our community support. I am maybe the spokesperson for Jesse, but I wish he was here, but
How is he?
he's getting old, man. He's
Yeah.
so he is. He's doing well. He's anxious to get back to boxing. He's anxious to work with the kids that I do know, and so I hope and pray that this works out. I hope and pray that we'll be able to get back into the building.
Now there's and per CDC guidelines, what you were talking about, there are two options. People can run it virtually.
That's right.
On their own
That's right.
time and accord, or they can join the team out there that morning.
That's right.
Okay.
And so yes, and so be it. And we're going to be at the Waubonsee Lake Park, which is such a beautiful park that the park district owns.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean it's their choice. Last year we did it. This was our second annual 5K run. Last year we did it. We did it in May, and the concept was because we were concerned that people weren't moving. We were isolated.
Right.
So the concept was, let's just get them off their butts, off the couch. Let me go
Yeah,
back.
use your legs again.
Yeah,
Right.
go do something. And we did well. Our goal is double. Now that we have the opportunity to see people's faces, man, I'd love to see them. Jesse would love to see them. And so yeah. So again, this is kind of like, I call it like a reunion, a community.
Right.
Have it come out, come and support. If you haven't registered, you could even register at the site. We have a team of people going to be able to do that for us. But we're hoping for a good turnout. That's the goal.
How long was Mr. Torres a police officer for?
I believe he was like 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In 25 years, he was in the APD. He was so ready to get out.
Really?
Really? Oh yeah. He was done. But and he appreciates the brotherhood of community in his APD, people. So I hope they come and help him through this. I hope so. Yeah.
What does America mean to you?
Freedom of speech. Freedom to be heard. Freedom to own oneself. And freedom to not be judged.
What's wrong with America?
We fight against the very things that we want. It's like we want everybody, we want people to share their truth, but then you get whiplashed for doing that. And
Tell me what you feel. Then you tell it. And
I mean, I believe that. When you own integrity, I love God. I've been a Christ follower for a long time. I've been in ministry, in the mentoring industry for 17 years. I worked in national level for a Christian organization, regional level, helping kids find mentors. That's my forte. 17 years is a long time to help kids get mentors. And one of the things that I have learned is that no matter, as much as you want it, as much as you put all this effort, I mean, it takes a team. It takes community. And if you don't get the support of that community, it's like when you work with the families and you have, the stories I have in regards to working with kids, and you're working with them and you're working with them, and then the 10 steps forward, but then they have to go back to the dynamics of the home, which is probably 95% single moms.
right.
Who has to work 3 jobs, don't have the patience. It's work to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's trial and error. And so I think, then the kids end up going, and because of the dynamics of the home and the brokenness, and then it's like 17 steps back.
Right.
So I think a lot of time things are like that, and I think one of my things that I have a special needs son. His name is Isaac. We call him the president. He wanted to come. I should have had him come.
You should have had him come.
I should have had him because he's like, I want to go. He could have been right here. I just like, no, Isaac. He has so many high risks.
Well, you got a part 2 in your future, so it's all good. Isaac, what up?
Isaac, what's up? How you doing? I'm telling Isaac would have been like, he's gonna be disappointed. But you got to stand your truth. You got to do what is right, and some things may be construed wrong. Some things may be, people say that we're open to communication, but are we? Sometimes things get construed and then end up falling. You end up falling in your face.
Right.
And it happens to all. So and what Isaac said is yesterday he was telling me, he goes, "We're winners." He loves God too. He's like, "Oh no, we're winners." And do you understand, Mom? Say it with me, Mom. We're winners. And it came out of the blue. I said, I must have been from Jesus.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm a winner, Lord. Yes, He's like, we don't get, I said, winners are not quitters. I was like, man, so the Holy Spirit talks to that boy. And if we can stay focused on that, stay focused on the mission, help people, stay on purpose on what we work. And when you come through obstacles, head up high. And do what you've been called to do, and keep, so.
Who are some of, or who was your strongest mentor? Who's your biggest mentor?
Well, that's a great question. Her name was Linda Gates. When my family and I lived in Oswego Township, I was going to Long Beach School, and again, being the only Hispanics, she saw the need in our family, and she became this this powerhouse lady. And because we were so insecure because of the color of the skin, I mean, I liked it, Motown, everybody liked it, Pat Benatar, you remember?
Oh yeah,
I remember all that.
Elvis.
That's what I'm saying.
You're like Marvin Gaye.
That's right. So it's just a transition, and she saw that we would, specifically me, that I would be so intimidated and not put the effort. A lot of times, and that happens with kids, about not believing in oneself, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something to be taught. I mean, that's something that we work with all of our days. And but she saw the need. She's like, and she's telling me, you need to get out of your own way. And she was such a crucial part of that time. And let me tell you something. So I was with her from first grade to fifth grade. This is how much teachers are making an impact. That's why it's important what they say, be truth, and be compassionate, have empathy for these kids, even though if you don't know how to communicate with them. Still love on them, because that is the call of God. And so this woman did that. And then after fifth grade, I haven't seen her. And I got married, life went on, and then I ended up becoming a widow. And when I became a widow, which was, by the way, was my number one prayer that I didn't want, my parents had divorced. We became an at-risk family. And so when I became a widow at the age of 26, my kids 5, 6, and 9, my oldest special needs being 9 years old, everything, because it was such a broken time in my life, but as everything that woman had said came fruition in my mind. I did not remember anything about her all those years until that happened. Very interesting, isn't it? And so, and that had instilled in me. Now my kids are they're what they consider at rest now, right? Single families. It doesn't matter. High risk in the mainstream is divorced, single parent, right? But it doesn't matter but you only have one parent household. You're a high risk kid now, which is that's another conversation. So, so all I wanted to do was like, oh man, I gotta find a mentor for these kids, and so that began my journey in the mentoring industry, because I wanted to help my children get a mentor, because I knew I was gonna be happy short of a song, and I knew that I was not gonna be able to do it by myself. So God made the way for that. My kids were able to get mentors. That's another. But let me tell you something. She made an impact on my life.
So, the last question I have for you is, It's what I planned. It's actually the first question I planned to ask you when I met you. I wrote everything. I wrote this one first, and I came up with the rest of the stuff. Um, Being a woman of faith,
Yeah.
what is your driving principle?
That we live for purpose. I don't believe in luck. Okay,
You said that right. You said that right before I clicked the camera on.
that's right.
Interesting. See, I knew this was a good question. Go ahead.
We have to live for, life is for purpose. We're not here, no matter what story you have, no matter who you are, no matter what the circumstances is, we are all made for purpose and being called to do so. And I believe that Christ, because He is my Savior, even moving, like once it's time I close the books on the boxing, I'm going into seminary school. I'm telling you, I'm 50 years old. I'm ready. That's my second life moving forward. But we have to live for purpose, Curtis. It's not for ourselves. We got to give. Your life is not your own. And this, with all the selfies and so much, life has changed. It's not the same how it used to be. It's not as simple as it used to be. We now have to help people stay focused, not only to build people up, that they can, because people need to be built up, but that also be an example of that.
So what's next for Uni Camacho and Jesse the Law Torres' boxing club?
Oh man, for me, I know in the future. I have made a decision. I don't know how long I've been with Jesse since '07. It's a long time. So, but I'm 50, like I've said, and so I have been giving and giving and giving on a personal level. Oh gosh, 20 years, and it's all been volunteer work. So I think at this time, I like to shift, and I see myself going back to school and going to seminary school, and major in communications. I gotta learn how to talk. I gotta learn how to communicate, Curtis.
I think the communication part, I don't think you'll have too much trouble.
I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? I want to help save souls. I mean, I'm 15. I'm gonna move in that direction. I'm going back to school. So how long I'm gonna stay with Jesse, I don't know. But I'd like to get him established. I'd like to get him back in the building where he had been for 27 years, because he loves that community. And so I hope for Jesse Torres, I hope he does. I'm hoping that he'll be able to get there in that building where he had been working for so long and sacrificed so much, and work with the community that he loves. So, and that's all I know. That's where we at.
The show ends on a positive note. What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
I love you. Listen, life is short. So many misunderstandings and so many different. So what I want to say to you guys is that I hope and pray that you guys can support Jesse. Support Jesse in the work that he's doing. He wants to get back into that building. And I hope he does. And let me just tell you, all the years that I've worked with this community, man, we love you. I think you guys are amazing people. And I've had the opportunity to work with the most Park District, man, they're rock stars. The people that support Juan Garza, Judd,
Lost you?
Oh, lost shirt. I mean, rock star. Like Pastor Cindy Galvin, who's been such a support system.
Peace House.
Peace House.
Oh.
Dude, one of our programs that we have is a women's group for the moms of the ACO program, and that's where we partner up with Cindy, Pastor Cindy. And I tell you what, she's like one of my best friends. I love that woman. So I just pray that we, moving forward, I pray that we be able to just help find your purpose, and let's do this all together. Let's move forward.
Well, on behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we want to say thank you very much for speaking to us. We appreciate you sharing your story with us, and we are proud to be supporters
Thank you so
of
much.
yourself, the Torres family, and the boxing club.
Thank you so much.
We wish you guys the very best. For all of you guys out there, please support Jesse Law Torres' boxing club, and do not forget that May 29th is the Memorial 5K run.
Yes.
United, we stand.
Stride.
My bad. That's what
And
I
the
got
reason why we said that is because we haven't seen anybody.
Right.
So, hey, man, let's all connect. Let's sing Kumbaya together.
Right.
You know, let's sing Kumbaya together.
All right. Well, this was a great episode, and all of you guys have a blessed, powerful, and positive day. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more great news. Peace.
Peace.